Like if I told myself consistently, because I'm not gonna lie, I did this a lot in 2023. I was telling myself like, oh, I'm righteous, I'm perfect, I'm righteous, I'm perfect, which I believe that. I really do believe that.
Sure.
But then I feel like there was a part of me that got prideful. Like my head got big.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yo, I'm chilling. And then I was like, yo, I'm straight up sinless.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna lie, in 2023, I made a knucklehead decision, and I felt the most condemnation I've ever felt in my life, because I kept telling myself, oh, you know, I'm righteous, I'm perfect, I'm righteous, I'm perfect, and I got this big head. And then I made a knucklehead decision, and I felt awful. And so like, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to wear that label without getting a big head.
Yeah.
But because like part of me kind of understands like the identity of a sinner. Like when I think of salvation, like coming to Christ, I'm like, okay, I acknowledge that I am a sinner. Like when I'm like surrendering my life to God, okay, I'm acknowledging right now I'm a dirty sinner and I need you right now. But is there not a part of it that like that keeps you humble, knowing that like you're
A sinner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we can take Paul's stance on this. So Paul, it's arguable, but he essentially wrote 14 epistles, right? He had Tertius, he had other people write under him, Luke and things like that for Hebrews. But he says, I am the chief of sinners, right? Number one. But then he also says in 1 Corinthians 15 that he is the least of the least apostles. Let's think about that for a second. He's saying he's a chief sinner. He's in an era where there's Nero and this guy is killing a mass murderer. He's saying he's worse than him. Is he actually physically saying that he's worse, like he's murdered more people? No, it's a heart posture thing, right? So Paul, we can take from him that he teaches us true humility by remembering who we are without Jesus. So he'll say it in Romans chapter 7 and verse 21 will say, who will save a wretched man like me? I thank God, Jesus, right? Who saved me, right? So as the reason why people like you experience this, and appreciate you for sharing that, why they get big-headed is because they forget where they came from. It's the same as King Solomon. When King Solomon came to God, before he was a king, I am but a child, he says. I don't know anything. But then he started getting the wisdom, and he started to misunderstand that this wisdom from God is now his own wisdom.
Yeah.
So like my perfection is not from me. If you strip Jesus away from Johnny Chang, bro, I could just murder people straight up. I'm a very, very like hateful person.
Yeah.
Very calculative, very manipulative. But I understand that that's the person I can never trust. That was a person that got crucified in Galatians 2:20.
Yeah.
And that's why I move boldly by saying we're perfected and righteous.
Yeah.
But if you forget who you are, Bryce, a person who at 17 can only kill himself, you understand what I'm saying? Who can only have anxiety and crippling anxiety and depression and loneliness, right? Then you will forever remain humble.
Dang.
That's what it comes down to with me.